Happy Monday to all you viewers of Apple Stump Bushcraft Stuff and Things. So today we're going to be looking at all these different forms of alcohol. We have 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. We have 99% isopropyl alcohol. A hand sanitizer with 70%. And the clear bottle with the blue lid is denatured alcohol. I don't know what the percentage of that is. And next to that we have Johnny Walker Red Label, which is 40% alcohol by volume. And last but not least is Everclear Grain Alcohol, 75% alcohol by volume. Now what in the world do we have planned for these different alcohols? Something important we're going to take a look at. How about now? There's an extra clue on the table there. Maybe you can figure it out. And we'll add one more clue. How about now? So if you didn't recognize the little stove at the bottom here, this is my alcohol burning stove that I made from the tin of a Vienna sausage packet. And you can look back on some of my previous videos and you'll probably see that one in action. Here we have a GSI glacier cup. And if you guessed we're going to be boiling water, you're correct. But the idea is to see which of those fuels takes how long to boil a cup of water in the GSI pot. In the past I've used only denatured alcohol in that stove. Never tried any of these other ones. So we're going to find out. We'll time them and see how long it takes to boil 1 cup of water. And we'll compare. Maybe some of them make a hotter flame than others. And maybe some of them are more efficient at heating the water. We'll start with 70% isopropyl alcohol. Okay, let's get this set up. So, into the glacier cup, we're going to pour 1 cup of water. And into the spirit burner, we're going to put 2 tablespoons or 1 ounce of isopropyl alcohol. And 1. And 2. You might be able to see a little bit of orange flame coming up out of there. Normally alcohol burns with a blue flame. It's almost impossible to see outdoors. We're going to wait for that tin to get nice and hot so that the jets will bloom on the side. That's what the little holes are around the perimeter of the can. And what we'll do is lower this down on top of it. We'll start timing from the time the pot is in direct contact with the stove. Well, no we won't because it smothered the flame. Alright, stand by, we'll figure something out here. Alright, so we prepared a little bit of aluminum foil, put it underneath the stove, and that should help reflect some of the heat instead of absorbing it. So we want the heat to be reflected back to the stove itself, so that it heats up and vaporizes the alcohol. If it doesn't vaporize, then the flames won't come out the sides. Okay, looks like 70% isopropyl alcohol is not going to stay lit. At least it's not going to perform in this particular stove. Go ahead and let that get really, really warm. don't see any jets coming out the side whatsoever, so we're going to have to pronounce 70% isopropyl alcohol a failure for that particular stove. So 70% isopropyl was a failure. We're going to try 99% isopropyl this time, again 1 ounce. Light it up. I think I can see a little bit of difference already in how vigorously that's burning compared to the 70%. Considerable amount of soot there. I didn't think that it would produce any, but it is. See if we have any jets coming out. We do. Okay, so we have a bloom of jets there. We're going to go ahead and start the timer. Alright, timer's going. And we do have jets appearing along the perimeter where the holes are. They're not very vigorous compared to denatured alcohol. Looks like we have some kind of bloom all the way around, which is good. There they go. Now the jets are working. I'm really surprised by the amount of soot though. That's incredible. You can see the soot starting to build up right here. Never seen denatured alcohol make soot ever. Alright, to keep this short and watchable, I'm going to turn this off right now, or pause it, and we'll come back as soon as the water's rolling boil. Alright, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and as you can see, we have a rolling boil. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds for 99% isopropyl. Alright, we're going to try denatured alcohol this time. I think we're going to save the hand sanitizer for last because it's going to leave quite a bit of residue. So two tablespoons or 1 ounce of this denatured alcohol, which is sold as a fuel for marine cook stoves, oddly enough. One cup of water into the GSI pot. I don't know if you can see, but that stove is burning right now, but there's no orange flame, it's just blue. And that's typical of the results I've achieved with it before. It's a very good stealth cooking solution because there's no visible flame in the daytime and virtually none at night. Let's get the jets going. They should be popping out of there any time now, unless I... oh, they're there. Barely see them. Yep. As soon as we have a full bloom on the jets, we'll start the clock. And here they come. You might be able to hear it more than you see it. Alright, I'm going to start it. Those jets are running. They're just nearly invisible. but they are coming out of the holes. We're at 1 minute now. I'll turn this off and come back when we have full boil. Alright, we're looking at 345 and rolling boil. Alright, let's try the Johnny Walker Red. I don't have high hopes for it, being this house only 40%, and the 70% isopropyl didn't work at all, so we'll try it though, just to be honest. There's one. And two. See if it'll light. No flame whatsoever. So if you're thinking about taking some Johnny Walker Red with you on your camping trip, your hiking trip, take it along, but it won't be any good for cooking with, unless you mix it into whatever you're making for dinner. Okay, next up is Everclear 151, which is 75% grain alcohol. One, two. Let's see if Everclear will light. The answer is yes, it will. And it's burning with a nice blue flame. We'll let that flame develop a little bit and heat the container, and then we'll put the GSI cup on top. There's a cup of water. So the Everclear is burning. You can see a little bit of yellow flame there to confirm it. I need to see some bubbles down in the bottom of the stove to indicate that vaporization is going on in there. So we'll go ahead and lower this down a little bit. And the flame went out. To relight it. What this does, holding the pot over the stove, is it reflects heat back to the stove and helps it vaporize the fuel in the bottom. Alright, let's see if we can get some bloom there. Yeah, there was a little bit. Alright, we're getting some bloom out of it. A little bit of flickering, a little bit of bubbling going on in there, which indicates that vaporization is taking place. I can see a little bit of yellow flame coming out of the side holes. Not much though, huh? Okay, so the flame is smothered. I'm going to let it develop a little further and then try it again. Okay, I can see that the jets are trying to fire now on the inside, so we'll lower this down on there. And there they go. It looks like we have a nice bloom on the outside. It's not terribly big, but we're going to go ahead and start the clock. All of them are producing a blue flame around the edge. Nearly invisible. So once again, we have to say that alcohol stoves are pretty good for stealth cooking. I'm going to stop this. We'll come back when it's at a rolling boil. Alright, we're at 7:15 right now, and we have a half-hearted boil going on in there. I've been watching it for the last couple minutes to see if it was going to get to an actual hard rolling boil, and it just isn't doing it. But that's enough to sterilize water, and certainly enough for cooking purposes. So that was Everclear 151. Last but not least, or maybe it is least, we're going to try some hand sanitizer. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get exactly 2 tablespoons of it in there, so I'm going to go ahead and estimate. Looks like 1. There, maybe that's 2 tablespoons. I know from past experience that hand sanitizer is flammable. You can use it as a fire starter, but whether or not it'll work in this stove is another issue. So I'll light it, and it's burning. Typical blue flame of alcohol. The problem with it that I see is that it's so viscous and thick that it's not likely to heat up the rest of it to a temperature that we could expect to successfully use the stove as it's intended. It won't vaporize is what I'm trying to say. Okay, just in case, it's making a nice flame above the edge of the stove, but I don't know if it's going to work for getting those jets going or not. A lot of bubbles in there though. Let's try it and see. Let's see if we smothered the flame. Nope, flame's still going. Well, it might be able to work. Set the pot on there. Apparently it was still burning with the pot on top, so that's good. I don't see any jets yet though, but there's so much light in here and it's hard to see them. Nope, it's smothered. I'll give it one more opportunity to reclaim its glory here. I know that it would be possible to boil the water just by holding the pot over the top like this and letting the flames that are coming out the top of the stove heat it up. That'd work just fine. But we're trying to get it to work with the stove as the stove is intended to work. And that just doesn't seem to be going to happen with the hand sanitizer. It is burning though. So what do you know? I think we do have bloom there. One way to tell. Take a match and hold it close to the hole. Nope. Nope, there we go. We have bloom. Surprising, I didn't think it was going to work. I can hear it fizzing in there, which means it's vaporizing. Alright, we'll start the clock and see what happens. It is just impossible to see the flame coming out of the jets. I'm looking on the back side, I can see them. Yeah, they're there. And they're actually starting to develop nicely now. Just has to get to a good temperature to vaporize the alcohol so that it will burn at the jets rather than going out. Alright, we'll come back when it's boiling, if it boils. Alright, we're coming up on 7 minutes and 45 seconds, and this is the best we've been able to achieve. That water's hot, but it's not boiling. So if it was not a trusted water source, I'd say you probably need to disinfect it with chlorine first before heating it up to make coffee or whatever. So there's one more fuel I wanted to mention, and I forgot to include that in the first lineup. This is one that's used a lot by campers for alcohol stoves, and that is heat gasoline dryer or gasoline antifreeze. It's essentially methyl alcohol. So we're going to give that a shot and see what happens. So once again, we're going to use our homemade Vienna sausage tin alcohol stove. And to that we're going to add 2 tablespoons or 1 ounce of heat methyl alcohol. There's 1 and 2. Light it and wait for the flame to get fully developed. The jets won't work until it is. In the meantime, we'll prepare this GSI Glacier cup as before with 1 cup of tap water. Okay, that should be about right. We'll set that on there. And start the timer. I'm going to turn off the light and see if we can see the blue flame from the jets. And barely. They're starting to grow. And they're invisible, just as usual with an alcohol flame. But I think we can demonstrate that they're working. Hopefully. Yeah. So we'll let that cook and come back when it's boiling. So stand by. I wanted to show the jets coming out of those holes. They're virtually invisible in any kind of light, daylight especially, but even artificial light. All the light we have in here right now is just coming in through kitchen windows outside daylight. And you can see them there somewhat. Now, an alcohol flame is ideal for stealth cooking because it's impossible to see at any distance in the daytime, and at night virtually impossible. You have to be up pretty close to see it. We're at 425 and we have a rolling boil. That's pretty close to equivalent to the other fuel sources that worked, as we demonstrated earlier in this video. What did we learn? Can the Vienna sausage alcohol burner boil water with which of these fuels? 70% isopropyl? No. 99% isopropyl? Yes. Denatured alcohol? Yes. Hand sanitizer? Got it hot but didn't boil. Johnny Walker Red Label? doesn't even ignite. And Everclear, yes, it will boil it. So that's the results. Make of that what you will. I think if I had Everclear 195 or whatever that is, the highest version of that, I would probably take that instead of the denatured alcohol or the isopropyl, because Everclear has other potential uses as a disinfectant and pain reliever, and of course you can drink it. Stay tuned for a giveaway coming up next. So we've been using an alcohol stove to demonstrate these fuel varieties. Homemade alcohol stove. For a giveaway today we have, guess what? You will receive this cooking set. Actually, you're going to receive one just like it because this one is mine. I haven't used it yet. Yours will be brand new, wrapped up in the package. So we have a stand for the stove. And this is a centralUS style alcohol stove or spirit burner. And that goes in there just like so. Pour your fuel in there and light it up. Then you can put your cooking pot right on top. It's kind of a, just barely fits that GSI cup, but wonder of wonders. You can also turn this upside down, the stove there, and then that stand will accommodate smaller pots. But with it in its normal configuration, you would light that, put your pot on top of here, and cook whatever it is you're cooking. You can see it's just barely a fit there. And then it also comes with this, which is a simmer ring. Combination of a simmer ring and snuffer, so you can put that on there and then adjust somewhat the amount of fire that comes out. So you can have a slow cook boil, a slow boil, a simmer, or whatever. Or if you want to snuff it, have it completely closed off like so, and snuff it that way. And you can also toss the cap on there to snuff the flame. So this is our giveaway item for today, and you will receive one brand new in the box, all wrapped up. Comes in this handy velour kind of felt drawstring pouch. And all you have to do to win is like this video and leave a comment. We'll use a random comment picker to select the winner. And we'd like you to subscribe to the channel if you find anything useful here. We have a number of other videos on the channel, so you can watch some videos on other subjects. But anyway, like the video and leave a comment, and you may be the winner of this cook set. That cap screws back on. That goes back on there, nice and firm. And there we have it. Alright. Appreciate you watching. This is Apple Stump Bushcraft Stuff and Things. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.